I am so excited. We are changing things up today. I have a guest, my first guest. I have Amanda here, and she is a fierce GLP-1 and obesity medicine advocate. And I am so excited to have her share her story. We actually met on a podcast together. Fate brought us together, and we have just continued to get to know each other over the past couple of months, and it's been wonderful to see everything that she's done in this short time. So I can't wait for her to share with you what's been going on.
Hello, I'm Amanda Bonello. I am the CEO and founder of the GLP-1 Collective, which is a nonprofit that is dedicated to affordable access and supporting patients who are using GLP-1 medications through educational resources, support groups, and fighting stigma.
That's it. That's all. Not
Well,
too much.
well, it's an ever-evolving um, field to be in. I can tell you that things are constantly changing. And
Yeah.
with that said, programs are constantly being rolled out and tested out. So there's so much in the works. Like if stuff isn't happening right now, it will be happening tomorrow, next week, next year, in the future. We're just going to keep growing.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Well, I can't wait to see where it takes you. I would love to hear, what really got you started down this path. Did you always know you were going to have a nonprofit? I'd love to hear more.
So thank you for having me on to give me a voice, to have it be heard to more people who might not know that we existed otherwise. So I want to say thank you for that first. The reason why I started the nonprofit back in October, tirzepatide, compound tirzepatide, was taken off of the shortage list for just one short week. At that time, I had just started looking into taking it for the first time. And I'm looking for resources and I can't find anything like solid. Like there's tidbits here and there. There's all of these different websites with like, these are the side effects and whatever, but nothing that was like a dedicated space. And all of these community resources like Reddit, which is where I went first, because I feel like you get legitimate answers there. Like people are not filtered. They will tell you like it is. So I go to Reddit and people are freaking out. They're going to the black market. They're using research peptides and mixing them themselves. They are stockpiling for a whole year. And at this point, I'm like, I don't even know if it's going to be good a year from now if it's already compounded. Um, it was crazy. It was like the Wild West. So I had no resources myself, and the uncertainty around whether or not this medication was going to be officially cut off was just like looming. There was no sheriff in town. Um, so that's when I really started looking like someone has to be doing something about this because we're going to get cut off. And I couldn't find any dedicated space with a group of people that were working together, an advocacy group that was fighting for GLP-1 specifically. And that was when I was like, okay, we need a petition. So I started the petition to fight for affordable access to GLP-1s. And a lot of people actually gave me pushback and were just saying, go gray, just give up and you're never going to beat big pharma. And I'm like, petitions work. They might not work by themselves, but they build a platform for advocacy to bring people together. So we're like this close to 27,000 signatures now. So close.
Oh,
If we could just get like
wow.
10 more.
Yes.
Um, but it's very exciting. And because of that petition, we got 7 media mentions, and we have 2 more coming out, one with Reuters and one with Wired.
Wow.
So and we're just going to keep having more media mentions. But all of those were for the petition, except for one that specifically talked about our nonprofit. So that was exciting because I was like, our little baby nonprofit got its media debut. um, but it was during that time that I was like, okay, we need a podcast. We need community members to be able to tell their stories so that people can hear how important this medication is because the stigma is so strong. And the amount of people taking this medication in secret is just outrageous because of the stigma.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, okay, we need a podcast. There's a lot of podcasts with people interviewing professionals, but we need community members to have a voice. And
Mhm.
on top of that, we need to explain why affordable access is important. Because even first coming into this space, I was like, oh my gosh, these people have had these life-changing experiences. People who like were in pain getting out of bed. One woman I spoke with literally broke all of the tendons in one of her ankles just from getting out of bed. She took a step,
Wow.
they all broke. Now she has a metal ankle. That was Gianna Beasley, actually. She's a dietitian. I don't know if you know Gianna Beasley. She has a podcast too.
Okay, I'll have to check it
Love
out.
her.
Yes.
But the GLP-1 has been life-saving for so many people. People who were in too much pain or too heavy to work out are doing half marathons now.
Mhm.
And as an obesity specialist, you can agree that chronic illness doesn't just go away. When you lose all that weight, it comes back. The majority
Mhm.
of the time, it comes back. And it didn't really affect me very much at the time because I had just started. I was like 1 week in, and I'm like, oh, this is what food noise is. It hadn't even really affected me yet. But when I thought about all of the people who could potentially be losing access, that was a call to action for me. And I have been moved to fight for the people ever since then. So that's how our nonprofit was born. From there, I incorporated the nonprofit January 10th. In February, we got tax exempt status, and we have two partners now. We have a partnership with Pureway, the sharps disposal company. They are fantastic. They've donated not only sharps containers for safe disposal, but they've also donated financially to help us provide newbie kits, like newbie welcome kits to patients who are new to GLP-1s. So
Wow.
that's exciting. So we're going to give them sharps containers and like little welcome bag. Like here's your protein bars. Here's a cute little natural grocers bag stuffed with socks and like water bottles, things that you wouldn't know that you needed on a GLP-1 until you were really cold and dehydrated. And natural grocers is donating bags and coupon books. And I've been very fortunate to be connected with people like you and other professionals in the healthcare space who genuinely care about patients. So that's where we're at now.
Wow. Wow. So that has taken quite the journey, and I'm sure you had no idea everything that you were going to take on when you started down this path. You were just looking for some answers and saw a real need, and then, filled that void. And I absolutely agree. I mean, it's great that the information, I think, is out there, but it's so difficult when it's in all of these isolated
Yeah.
pockets of the internet, or, different books, or you hear pieces of it from different specialists. But to have a go-to place is like a game changer, because, you just, whenever a question comes up or an issue arises, you can go to your trusted source and, get what you need. And so I think that that's wonderful, especially as, I'm trained in family medicine and primary care, and that's, how we approach things. We, hope people can come to us with all of their problems and we can at least get things started to, get worked up or feel better. And so I have that mindset as well. And I was also thinking, when you were just talking like back in the fall about people going to the black market, or now
Yeah.
people are talking about the gray market and mixing peptides and using experimental, drugs and compounds. This is something, as an obesity medicine physician in practice, I wasn't hearing about, especially at that
Oh,
time,
wow.
because I don't see it. And like you said, people are taking
Right.
medications in secret, and they're not going to tell me. I don't think most people are going to tell like their primary care doctor that
Mm.
they're, getting this medication off of this website. And so I didn't know that that stuff was going on until I honestly spent more time on social media and hearing people share their stories. And it's really important for us as physicians and, medical professionals to know that that's going on so we can help
Yeah.
direct people. But that just found that really interesting that even, months and months ago that was happening and I wasn't even aware.
And it's blowing up now. It's kind of becoming mainstream, to be
Hmm.
honest, because as people are losing access more and more, I mean, this January, many insurance companies cut people off from access, stopped covering
Hmm.
it. And on top of that, now we have CVS is going to stop covering Zepbound July 1st.
Hmm.
People are going to lose access to that and have to start jumping through hoops to get coverage for it if they still want it. And by that, I mean prior authorizations
Hmm.
that you don't know if they'll even get approved. And then people are getting cut off from their compound options, which was for a lot of people the only affordable option. And those people, if you don't have affordable access, you don't have access. A lot of those people are desperate and they're looking at two choices. For them, it's is it worth having a shortened lifespan and having a miserable life with disease? Because that is, for a lot of people, what it comes down to. And chronic disease, it lends space for other diseases to come in. So obesity goes along with a lot of comorbidities, killing 500,000 people a year, 1,300 people a day. And if you're not dying from one of these things, if you don't want to choose that for yourself, then the only other option for a lot of these people in their mind is to go to research peptides, mix it themselves, go to the dark market or the dark web, the gray web. It is the black market. It is the black web. That's what it is.
Yes.
Go to other countries. People are going to Mexico. They're getting it from Europe. There was one woman who she was interviewed by the Institute of Medicine's Access and Knowledge. Working, we've been coordinating with them to release videos of people sharing their stories for affordable access because they have created a report exposing big pharma for abusing the patent loopholes and putting like 300 patents on five medications in order to extend their monopoly and keep prices high. So we helped them by giving them access to patients who were willing to share their stories so that they could pair it with their powerful data, powerful voices and powerful data together.
Hmm.
And one of these women has a son who goes to Europe for business every 3 months and he comes back with Ozempic because it's cheaper there. People are
Hmm.
getting it from Canada, people are getting it from India now. It's just crazy that you have to leave your country or go to the black market to get a medication that your doctor has prescribed because you need it to live a long and happy life. Not just happy, but healthy.
Hmm. Hmm. And happy is important too.
Happy is important too, but you're happy when you're healthy.
Hmm. Hmm.
And health is really the biggest part of it because I think that there is a big old stigma that people want this medication so that they can have their beach body before the summer, but that is not what it's about. The people who are getting out of bed and breaking their ankles,
Hmm.
the last thing on their mind is their beach body. They
Hmm.
just want to be able to walk without pain.
Hmm.
I interviewed a community member yesterday who was talking about how she just lost access and she took her last shot 5 weeks ago. She has Hashimoto's. All of her inflammation is coming back and it hurts to hug. It hurt to
Hmm.
hug before, but she was saying that she didn't even realize that the pain was not normal. She thought it was just an
Hmm.
age-related thing until she started a GLP-1 and all that inflammation went down. And she was like, oh my God, it doesn't hurt to touch my skin.
Wow.
And now that's coming back. She wasn't thinking about her beach body. So that's why we do what we do.
And what you're doing is amazing in fighting for affordable access and access to
Thank you.
safe versions of these medications and these treatments. Have you heard of any like new movement in, new ways to access these medications or things that are in development? Do we have some hope to share with our audience?
Oh, I love that you're saying that. So we are working on a patient prescription access program, and it's ready to roll out. We have the whole system, it's HIPAA certified and ready. We're ready to take applications, but we have to meet that first initial funding threshold in order to be able to give money to patients so that they can pay for their medications. And that is the part that we're working on now. And I have always said that I know I can move mountains. I have already moved some mountains and I can do it, but I cannot do it fast enough by myself. I just can't. And I'm not gonna lie, it has been very difficult to raise funds for this program, a lot more than I realized it would be. I don't know what I was thinking when I started it. I was just like, this will be easy. People really care about GLP-1s, and there will be philanthropists out there who want to help.
Mm.
And I guess I just like imagined that they would just be like, oh, people need help. Whoosh, like flying like a superhero into the
Here I
sky.
am. Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, seeing the bat signal. It has not happened that way. Unfortunately, it's a lot
Mm.
more work than I realized. But we are ready. As soon as we're able to hit that initial threshold, we're going to open applications and start sending cards, preload cards that we can reload every month
Mm.
in order to help them with direct cash assistance pay for their medications. And all we need is a verifiable prescription so that we can make sure that it's legitimate. That is it.
Wow, that's amazing. And that prescription, so are these patients who are going to have access to this, are they filling their medication at their local pharmacy or is this a delivery service or what would that look like?
It would be the local pharmacy,
Mhm.
and the card can only be used on prescription medication at pharmacies. So
Perfect.
that way it's not used for food or something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, good. And if you don't mind me asking, what is the initial threshold so people aware if you're comfortable sharing?
No, of course. And it's so interesting that you're asking that because Um, I just met this person the other day and they were like, what's the initial threshold? Is it like $1 million, like millions of dollars? And I'm like, $20,000. That is
Mm.
all we need
Mhm.
to start with our first 40 applications.
Wow.
And the whole world and all of the US is not aware of this program yet. So I think it would be just fine for us to start as soon as we can because people need help now. And instead of waiting to
Mhm.
make millions of dollars so that we can feel comfortable, I would rather start with what we have and then keep trying to generate funds so that every
Mhm.
month we can help them pay for their medications rather than
Mhm.
making them wait longer. Because, like I said, people are getting cut off right now and they don't have time to wait.
Mhm.
And if we run out of funds for a month, then we can close applications that month. But I would rather try to help as quickly as possible and just hope that we get some grants answered quickly.
And if anyone was wanting to help out with this cause or any other causes that you have, how would they do that?
Well, the first thing I would say is sign up to join the collective at glp1collective.org. We've made it very easy.
Mhm.
If you become a member, then you're able to use all of our free resources. And please take advantage of them. They're there for you. And the more people that we have in our organization, the more value it lends to our credibility. So when we're writing letters to the FDA, like we have been, then they can see how many members are behind us and care more about what we're saying.
Mhm.
So, yeah, join the collective, and there is a little floating bubble when you go to the website. And if you click on it, it'll take you to our Discord. That is where you'll get daily updates. And we'll be planning our Washington, D.C. trip this fall.
Yeah, which I am very hopeful I will be able to attend. I'm very excited about that.
I want to say, I don't know why it surprises me, but the majority of the people that have gotten back to me on interest in going to DC in fall
Mhm.
are people who are pretty big advocates.
Uh,
It's not like a lot of it's not like a huge group of just patients, but it's like these advocates that already have really strong voices are like,
mhm.
I want to be there.
Yeah.
And I guess it makes sense because they're already working it.
Well, those are the people that you want to be there. They have experience with it,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm excited to see what that's all about and support the cause.
Thank you. And thank you so much for your advocacy. I
Mhm.
fell in love with you the day that we met because I saw this brilliant mind, this super compassionate doctor who
Mhm.
genuinely cared about her patients' access. And
Mhm.
it warmed my heart to know that there was a healthcare provider out there who really wanted to help her patients,
Yeah.
not just send them home with a diet plan or a website link for where to find some information. You really do work hard to make sure that your patients have like everything that they need. So, thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, well, thank you for saying that, and I'm glad that that comes across even through, the video screen, um, remotely. Yeah, I just think that that's what, all patients deserve, no matter what condition we're treating. And that's, the approach we should be taking as healthcare professionals. So that's how I see it. And ultimately, I see that treating obesity. Talking to somebody recently about it, she was asking how I got in the field. It was one of my patients. She was just curious on how I got into obesity medicine. And it all goes back to, why I went into medicine in the first place. And it was to help people achieve and maintain their health. And I chose family medicine because it was such an emphasis on prevention and wellness. And then I learned during my training about obesity medicine, and I just saw that field, that was where I was seeing patients, their chronic conditions get better, that they, yeah, were feeling better, were able to be more active. And I wasn't seeing that in the traditional primary care offices. It was really in the obesity medicine offices when we're treating underlying cause of so many of our conditions, the excess weight that by treating that helps with decreasing inflammation and so much more. It's really is wonderful. And it's obesity medicine doctors are some of the happiest doctors out there, I think, because we, can really truly help our patients. And it can be frustrating with all of the, regulation and the
Mm,
barriers to access that our patients have to go through. But if you find the right doctor, and most of the obesity medicine doctors are willing to do this, they will fight for you and fill out those prior authorizations and write appeal letters and be
yeah.
part of advocacy groups and education and take the time to, talk to you and get to know you. I think that's how most of us in the field are. And so always like to highlight, if you're not getting that care, then keep
Yeah.
looking for somebody who is giving you that care because we are out there.
Thank you. That is incredible. I will say that the obesity field does seem to be especially kind. And maybe you have to be working in the obesity field,
Mhm. Yeah,
have that extra compassion.
it seems that way. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Well, I think we've covered a lot of different topics. I'm curious if you have any, final thoughts you'd like to share or anything that you think we didn't touch on.
Yeah. I would say just to quickly reiterate for anyone who is listening and interested but not quite ready to go to the website and sign up, we do have several different programs. So, one is our monthly support group, where so many people who are taking this medication in private don't have a support system and they really need a place to go. So, you will be supported and so welcome by us if you need somewhere that you want to share how you're feeling mentally, physically, on your journey, we're there for you. We also have our live Q&As with obesity specialists and dietitians. Dr. Lindsay Ogle was our very first obesity specialist, and it was a hit. There were a lot of people who really enjoyed watching and asking her questions. So we're looking forward to hosting more of those. We have that newbie kit program for patients just starting their GLP-1 journey who really should start off on the right foot, and we'd be super happy to help them with that. And then we have the Washington, D.C. trip coming up. If you're interested in going to Washington, D.C., or even just supporting from the sidelines online, we will be streaming it live. Please join our Discord to find out all the information you need there. And there's so much more to come.
That's amazing. Again, you have so much going on to help the community at every step of the way. We're so lucky to have you. And I just want to emphasize how, you know, welcoming and connected Amanda is. I mean, if you have any questions in along your journey, definitely, I'm sure she's willing to, answer those questions. How can people find you if they do have questions?
Well, we are on TikTok and Instagram. We're on YouTube and LinkedIn. And so if you have any questions, you can find the contact us on our website page or hit me up on any of the socials, and I am happy to reach back out. It's just GLP-1 Collective at everything: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, you truly make it easy.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about, your experience and everything you're doing to advocate for affordable access for GLP-1s and obesity treatment in general. I can't wait to see where this goes and all of the accomplishments that you and GLP Collective is going to have in the future.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lindsay Ogle. You are seriously my hero. I really appreciate
Same.
you. Thank you for having me on.